Let me share my screen. Let me try to record it offline also. Just a minute. Okay, all right. Okay, so in this particular session, okay, so we are starting with one of the project. Okay, this particular project you can present it right away to your interviews. Okay, and we are going to teach you something like two projects. Okay, one with some of the external applications, and something like Oracle Service Cloud, Oracle Field Service Cloud. Okay, one of the file system, one of the scheduler we will try to tell you. Okay, so it is like so it is a mix of different external systems, and you can produce it the same way that we are going to teach you. Okay, the second project also we are going to teach you that. See, ideally what you will try to do is you will try to put your MuleSoft experience, something like 2 years or 2.5 years, right? So in this particular 2.5 years period, so at least you need to say that you worked on two different projects, at least like in this particular span of time. If you are at least as part of this particular training, so we are going to teach you something like 14 to 15 APIs. Okay, I mean, so out of that 10 APIs I'm going to explain you, and the 5 APIs you are going to practice. Okay, so once you complete this particular sessions, you are able to complete those projects, and you can actually create your own projects also. We are going to guide you that as well. So if you are not comfortable with these two projects, you need to add one more project in your resume, so you can add that as well. Okay, so the ideal intention here is I want you to guide you, okay, how to create the APIs in the real-time world, how we are actually doing all the stuff. Similar way of explanation I'm going to give you, and I will try to show you how to develop these APIs. Let's say like 10 APIs I will try to show you, and the remaining APIs you need to develop it, so that at least in your conceptual understanding you will have at least like 15 APIs, so that at least 1 or 2 APIs, if you are explaining it, that is fairly enough for your interview. I mean, even some of the interviews, they will not ask you to explain the APIs. They want to understand how you implemented your APIs in your real time. So what are the tools that you have used, and what is the way that you implement it? Okay, so we are trying to focus on that. Any questions on this? You're able to hear me properly, right?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So we are starting with one of the away. Just a moment. So for every project, we are trying to create some SharePoint. Okay, so we are going to share all the documents over there. Okay, but let us try to create something. See, in your real-time projects, okay, so every document that you are dealing with, whether it is your architectural document or it is a technical design document, API specification documents, data mapping sheets, everything that will be shared not over the emails, guys. Okay, they will try to share that particular thing over a SharePoint location or a file repository. Okay, because the moment they are putting that particular file, they should not modify later point of time. So they need to maintain the versionings. Okay, so for that, and one more aspect is, if you are in this particular project for 6 months, later point of time you move to some other project or some other organization also. Okay, so a new team members is going to come in. So they need to interact with this particular repository also. So they will try to share it in some shared location. So right now we don't have any SharePoint. So we are trying to use the Google Drive. So it is also similar. Okay. So SharePoint is nothing like, a new software or something like that. So it will provide a hard disk space in the cloud environment where you will place your files. That's it. Okay. Clear enough? Okay, we are trying to use our Google Drive for our this thing to share the documents or anything. So we are going to share this over here. Okay. So let me create this thing. Just a moment. No, this is Julie Batch, right? Okay, I'm creating it. And one more thing is, so there is some feedback that, okay, so some people wants this particular sessions, at least some part of it in Telugu as well. Okay, so we'll try to teach you as well in Telugu, so some part of it. Okay, but who are not able to understand it, don't worry. So we are trying to cover both the aspects. Okay, so let me create something here. So this is my uh, repository, the file repository, where I'm trying to share all the documents to my team members. Okay, you are my team members. Okay, so let us assume that I'm your project lead. So I'm going to create this particular repository in your real-time projects. So here I'm going to place all EA related documents, EA like your enterprise integration team. So as part of technical design documents, functional design documents, architectural documents, everything, I'm going to share it here. Okay, so let us try to create one folder, what we call it as architectural document. Okay, so in this particular architectural document folder, what I need to have it, my architectural document. Okay, what architectural document will tell you about? Architectural document lo ఏముంటుందండి?
Higher level design. What are the sources and how we are going to receive the request from them, and what is the target system and what is the way of reaching the target system and everything. Higher level overview.
Okay, so it is a higher level overview that she is, telling me. Yeah. So not even higher level. What it will have is each and every resource in depth. Okay, design will be there in that particular architectural document. Okay, so let us try to open this. Okay, so I just moved it. So let me make it as this one is EA architectural document for Cygnus project. Okay, so whatever the project that we are trying to achieve is Cygnus. Okay, so if you are looking at this particular organization, let me open some of this thing. Okay, so let me open this. Okay, so Cigna. Okay, this is a real organization that we have it. Okay, so you have your Wikipedia also. So you can have put the same company description. If whenever you're explaining your project, you need to tell about some phrases about your company. Okay, so మీరు మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేటప్పుడు కొన్ని థింగ్స్ చెప్పాలండి. అంటే మీన్స్ వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్. ఓకే, what it is dealing with. Okay, what is the business it is dealing with. So those kind of statements you need to give it. Okay, so you can refer this particular Wikipedia and you can tell about this particular company. So it is an American managed healthcare and insurance company, which means that so it is in healthcare domain as well as insurance domain. Okay, so you can put it this way. Cigna is a company where it is dealing with healthcare and insurance domain. Okay, so it is providing healthcare and insurance related services. Okay, And the moment you are telling about your project, you're having, what is this? Sickness. Okay. So for Cigna, what I have, my project Cygnus. Okay. So it is an integration services. Okay. For Cigna Group. So this is my project name. Cygnus is my project name. So it is representing my architectural document. This is my architectural document. Okay. So the moment we are looking at this particular architectural document, so it is giving high level, representation. Okay. So what it is giving. So the moment you are looking at this particular document, so what you are able to understand it. So this is my high level document. Okay. So I need to have my Jira also. So in a moment of time, we will try to create a Jira and Bitbucket also. But so let us try to understand the high level architecture. Okay. So in this particular project, we are dealing with Salesforce. So this is my one of the external system or end system. Okay. Mobility applications, a mobile applications will be there. So it is also one of my external system. Okay. A FTP server is there. Okay. So what we call it as tracks. Okay. FTP. So here they are going to place some files. We need to get the files from this particular location for one of the APIs. Okay. And we have something like Oracle Service Cloud, which means that in this particular Oracle Service Cloud, you can actually manage your incidents, organizations, account information, something like that. You can actually check what is this particular Oracle Service Cloud. Okay. So this is also one of my external systems. So this is a Oracle product. Okay. And what we have, Oracle Field Service. Okay. Anything related to your scheduling, appointments or anything. So that will be there in my Oracle Field Service. Okay. This is also one of the Oracle product. Okay. And what we have, Oracle e-business suite. Okay. EBS is nothing but e-business suite. Okay. So there are multiple customers for this particular product. So we are using that product also in our project. Okay. So these are my external systems or end systems. Okay. So the moment you're telling about, hey, I'm working from last 1 year, I'm working on Cygnus project where I have multiple external systems. Okay. So what are my external systems? Salesforce, Mobility, FTP, Tracks FTP, Oracle Service Cloud, Oracle Field Service Cloud, Oracle e-business suite. So these are my external systems, and we are providing or we are creating some APIs between these systems. Okay. So we are creating some APIs between these systems. So this is how you need to tell that. Okay. So the moment I'm saying this particular thing, so you need to understand, hey, we are creating these APIs in this particular project. Okay. So each API, I'm going to create it. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what are the standards that we are going to follow. So where we need to start it, where we need to get the requirements. Okay. How we are going to create design center assets. Okay. How we are going to reuse that. So this is how we are going to develop it, each and every API in this particular project. Okay. So at this level, do you have any questions? Or anyone needs in Telugu? I believe everyone can understand my language, right? So guys, if you are okay
Yes,
with
yes.
this particular thing, so you
Yeah.
can tell me, hey, go on or something like that. Okay. Don't
Yeah,
be
go on.
like, too calm. All right. So in any project, in your real-time MNCs, what they are trying to do is they are trying to manage your projects or development life cycle through some project management tools. Okay. So generally they will try to use Azure DevOps, whiteboards, or your Jira. Okay. So most of the people will try to go for Jira. Why they are going for Jira is generally the subscription or the pricing model is very less compared to any product management tools. Okay. Sometimes they will go for Microsoft Team Foundation server. Okay. Even there we can manage our development lifecycle as well as our source code also, which means that it will provide source versioning tool as well as project management, Microsoft TF. Okay, team foundation server. But most of the projects will go for Jira. Okay, so we are creating one epic. What is called by epic? Do you guys know what is an epic?
ID?
ID. Okay. ID of what?
Voter ID.
Particular like a project ID.
Okay. So you guys know there will be something like Agile and Scrum, Waterfall, something like, right? So
Agile.
maybe
These are like
some of you know
methodologies.
that. Yeah. So these are different methodologies for your project management. Okay. So right now, most of the people will go for Agile methodology. Okay. To be precise, if you are asking me, hey, what is Agile? So even I have some bit of bits and pieces. Okay. But in Agile method, okay, so they call it as epics. Epic in the sense a bigger project or bigger resource group. Okay, which means that if I have, okay, as part of my Signa, okay, I do have something like 200 different external systems. Okay, so to creating the ESBs or mule ESB, okay, I will call this entire 200 system as an epic. Okay, epic means a bigger picture. Okay, so what I call a bigger picture of my entire client. Okay, and coming to projects. Okay, so we deal with projects only. So we know what do you mean by project. Okay, but these projects are nothing but a small chunks of pieces under epic, which means that in a particular epic, what I will have multiple projects. Okay, multiple projects I will have. So in your Jira, what they will try to have is one parent Jira will have. Okay, what we call it as parent Jira. So that is nothing but my epic Jira. Okay, for my epic, there is a Jira linked to it. Okay, so let us say I have something like we are dealing with Signa, right? So let us say 0001 is my parent epic. Okay, so under this, there are multiple project level Jiras. Okay, so something like this is Cygnus. Okay, so something like that. So I have something like Cygnus 001. So some other project will be there. Some they will call it as Prime or something. Okay, so something like this. They will try to have multiple projects under this particular epic. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with any project, there will be a parent level Jira, and for that particular Jira also, there is one more parent that is nothing but your epic Jira. Okay, so we are trying to create a epic, not epic Jira. We are trying to create a parent level Jira. So under this particular parent level also, we are trying to create multiple subtasks. Okay, so that particular subtask, I will give it to you. Okay, as a developer, okay, you need to create some system API. I will try to assign some Jira to you. Okay, so if you need to create some system API, I need to assign some subtask to you. Okay, so we are already developed something and we deployed into SIT or something. There is some issue. I created defect Jira. Okay, and I am going to assign it to you. So you need to track the status of that. Hey, we created this thing, or we fixed this thing, we deployed this thing. Everything we are trying to, manage it in your Jira. Okay, so let us try to open some Jira, and we are going to create our first project over there, and then we are going to create some sub projects in that particular Jira. Okay, so Jira is nothing but your project management tool. Okay, so we are dealing with our Jira in this particular project. Okay, so let me open some Jira. And one more thing, guys. Okay, so Jira is created by your Atlassian software. Okay, the moment you're seeing this, okay, just a moment. Okay, so this is the parent company which created our Jira, Trello, and some other products also we are trying to use it. Bitbucket. Okay, we know Bitbucket, we know Jira, we know Confluence. This is something like document sharing collaboration tool. Okay, so generally some projects will try to use this one also for document sharing and everything. So we told that, hey, there is some SharePoint link, right? So they are trying to create some functional design documents and technical design documents using this particular thing. Okay, they are going to share it using this particular thing. But what we are really concerned about this particular Jira software. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to create some account in this particular thing, guys. Okay, why I am asking you to create this? Because we are going to deal with multiple APIs. We are trying to create multiple incidents. Okay, so I'm going to assign some of the incidents, so you need to track that particular status in those Jiras. Okay, so at least you get to know, hey, how to use this particular Jira. Okay, so make sure that we are going to create that way. Okay, so I have my Signa project. This is for my last session. So let us try to create one more project. Okay, so let me create it. Just a moment. Yeah, so are we using this particular model or Scrum model? Okay, so we are using Kanban. This is not really required for you. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a project. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so I'm just adding my project details here. Okay, so let us try to create Cygnus. This is July, right? Yeah, 2022. Okay, so this is my Cygnus project under July. Okay, so I'm specifying something like this. Okay, so this is for my representation, guys. Okay, so here I can specify 722. Cygnus 722 is my key. Okay, so you don't care about this particular thing. What is this particular thing? You don't really require. Okay, but this is for my identification. Okay, so I can put it here 722 Cygnus, which means that this is 7th month 22. Okay, so this is my key. Okay, so okay, so it is asking the project should start with the capital letter. Okay, so C722 Cygnus. This is how I'm creating it. Okay, I'm clicking on create project. Okay, you can actually connect your repositories also. That is too advanced stuff, but let me create this thing. But who is going to deal with this thing?
Scrum Master.
Yeah, Scrum Master or your project manager is going to create this particular things. You don't worry about anything, guys. Okay. So as a project manager, I'm trying to create this particular. Okay. So in your projects, they already created it or they will try to create it. It is not your job as a programmer or as a developer. It is not your job. It is as a project manager or Scrum Master. It is my job to create this particular configuration. Okay. Start with an uppercase letter followed by one or more uppercase or alphanumeric characters. Okay, fine. Let us put it this way only, Cygnus 722. Okay, so I'm creating this particular project. So what is happening? Okay. Let me create my project. Okay, so I created my project. Okay, so what about these things? Go on mute, guys.
In Jira, we have some stories. To create the story, it is used to create issue. If we put it in to do, we are going to do the thing. And in progress means we are developing the particular story. And done means we finished it.
Okay, so basically, these are nothing but steps. Okay. అంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు, ఒక డెవలప్మెంట్ ఐటమ్ ఇచ్చాము అనుకోండి, సో మీరు ఆ పర్టికులర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఐటమ్ ని మల్టిపుల్ స్టెప్స్ లో పుష్ చేయాలి. Okay, so as per my knowledge, I have something like development instance or environment, SIT environment, QA environment. Okay, and there is something like QA testing is there, SIT testing is there. So I need to have multiple steps to deploy this particular thing to back to production. Okay, so I need to define the steps here. Okay, and I can create my issues also here. But first of all, let us try to define my steps. What are the steps that I have it? Okay, so let me change this thing. Okay, to do is, which means that it is not assigned to anyone. ఓకే, అంటే నాకు ఒక కొత్త ఇష్యూ ఏదో వచ్చింది, లేకపోతే కొత్త డెవలప్మెంట్ ఏదో వచ్చింది, నేను ఇంకా ఎవరికి అసైన్ చేయలేదండి. సో అలాంటివి నేను ఎక్కడ పెట్టుకుంటానో ఐ కెన్ హ్యావ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ మై టు డూ లిస్ట్. ఓకే, అండ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ మల్టిపుల్ స్టెప్స్ ఆల్సో. వాట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ development ready. This is one of my step, which means that as a developer, I'm ready with my development, which means I completed my task. I can mark it as development ready. Then later point of time, what I will try to do, dev deployed some step. Okay, like that I need to create it. So development ready is one of my step. Okay, where it will be. So the moment I assign it to someone. Okay, so it will be something like assigned. This is also one of this status. Okay, which means that అంటే ఒక టాస్క్ నేను ఏం చేస్తానండి, నాకు ఈ టాస్క్ చేయాలని ఒక రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వచ్చింది. సో అది అసైన్ చేయనంత వరకు అది అన్అసైన్ స్టేట్ లో ఉంటుందండి. ఓకే, దాన్ని నేను ఒక డెవలపర్ కి అసైన్ చేశాను అనుకో, వాట్ ఐ విల్ ట్రై టు డూ, ఐ విల్ మూవ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ టాస్క్ టు అసైన్ స్టేటస్. ఓకే, and then that particular guy is working on that particular thing, so it will be in progress status. Okay, once that particular development is completed, he will mark that particular Jira to development ready. Okay, which means that he is going to update this particular Jira. Ante oka project manager perspective lo, I will not go to each and individual developer, hey ekkadi varaku chesavani nenu adugunanu. So I'm not going to ask each individual developer, hey what is the status of this particular task. So he need to track that particular status inside this particular Jira. Okay, so that all the tasks I can visualize here only. I don't require to go to some other thing. Okay, or even I don't rely on status calls or anything. So I can directly see my Jira board and I can see where my task is. Okay, who is developing it, at what level he developed. So everything I can track it using my Jira. So your Jira is nothing but a project management tool that we are extensively using inside your projects. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay, so ఈ పర్టికులర్ టూల్ మీద ఇంకా చాలా చూస్తామండి, బట్ అట్లీస్ట్ యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్. ఓకే, సో వెన్ ఎవర్ దే ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్, okay, they are trying to create some definite Jira. Okay, so if it is very small task, ఒక 10 minutes లో అయిపోయే టాస్క్, లేకపోతే ఒక 20 minutes లో అయిపోయే టాస్క్ కి జనరల్ గా క్రియేట్ చేయండి. ఒక టెక్నికల్ డిజైన్ డాక్యుమెంట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం, చిన్న చిన్న మోడిఫికేషన్స్ కి అయితే క్రియేట్ చేయడం. బట్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ కోడ్ రిలేటెడ్ చేంజ్, definitely they are going to create some Jiras. Okay, so if someone is identified some bug in the SIT environment, okay, your project managers are going to create a task, not task, basically they are creating a bug. Okay, so let us try to define our task first. Okay, development ready and dev deployment or dev deployed. Okay, so just a moment. So this is my dev deployment. Okay, and I will say SIT deploy. Okay, so just assume that we have one development instance or one instead of SIT, so we will put it as UAT or QA. Okay, anything is fine. So let me change it to UAT. Okay, as part of this particular project, what I am assuming is I have 3 environments. Okay, one is development environment, one is UAT environment, and the other one is production environment. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now what I want to achieve. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create an API between this particular thing. So I'm targeting this particular first API. What is my first API? I'm creating an organization information, which means that a post call, a post organization, I'm going to create it between SFDC to OSVC. Okay. So I'm talking about I-131 interface. Okay. Where is I-131? So here it is. Okay. Which means that, so as Salesforce is information provider, which means that Salesforce is giving data, and who is consuming the data? OSVC system. This particular Oracle service, OSVC system, is consuming some data. Okay. So the moment I'm seeing this, I'm going to my design. Okay. So we'll try to talk about this particular thing. What is experience API, process API, everything we will try to discuss later point of time. I mean, so going forward, we will try to see all the aspects. But as of now, we are trying to focus on this particular project, this particular API we are trying to develop. Okay. So this is my low-level design in the architectural document. Okay. So who is provider? SFDC, Salesforce is providing some data. What kind of data it is providing? Organization data it is trying to provide it. Okay. And what I need to have it? So I need to create a post method. Okay. And who is the consumer here? OSVC is my consumer. So I need to create a system API. Okay. What is the endpoint I need to create? Post organizations I need to create. Okay. And so once I'm passing it to Experience API will pass it to System API will pass it to Oracle Service Team. Okay. So what is this? We will try to talk about later when we are dealing with exception handling. Okay. But this is my design. Okay. So అంటే ఈ పర్టికులర్ డాక్యుమెంట్ చూడగానే నాకు ఏం అర్థం అవ్వాలంటే, హే ఏంటి నా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏపీ, వాట్ ఈస్ మై సిస్టమ్ ఏపీ. ఓకే. సిస్టమ్ ఏపీఏలో నేను ఏ రిసోర్స్ ని క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏపీఏలో ఏ రిసోర్స్ ని క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. నాకు ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ జేసన్ వస్తుంది, ఐ మీన్ ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ టైప్ వస్తుంది, డేటా టైప్ ఏం వస్తుంది, XML వస్తుందా, జేసన్ వస్తుంది. నేను ఏ పర్టికులర్ సిస్టమ్ కి పాస్ చేయాలి, దాని యొక్క క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఆర్ ఏ సిస్టమ్ ని నేను హిట్ చేయాలి అన్న డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని కూడా మీ API స్పెసిఫిక్ లో లెవెల్ ఆర్కిటెక్చరల్ డాక్యుమెంట్ లో ఉంటాయి. Okay, so this is the document your architect team is going to pass it to you. Okay, so I have my high level, design where I have defined all my end systems, and I have my very low level design document or this particular architectural document. There is a slide or there is some image that represent that particular API. Okay. So the moment I'm seeing this particular thing, so make a particular document work, you need to visualize it. Hey, this might be my experience API. This might be my system API. Now resource ela untadani cheppi meeku oka idea ravali as a MuleSoft developer. Okay, even whether they are giving it or not, before itself you need to visualize something. Hey, they are telling something about SFDC to OSVC, which means that SFDC is my experience API. Okay. OSVC is my system API. Okay. So they are talking about organizations. So might be my endpoint might be something like organizations. Okay. They are posting some data. So I need to use my post method. So something like that, you need to visualize it. And if you are able to visualize it, you can match that particular visualization to this particular conceptual diagram. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So please make sure that, okay, మీరు క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగితేనే నేను కొంచెం బెటర్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయగలను. ఓకే. సో లేదు అంటే ఒక ఫ్లో కింద వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఓకే. సో మీకు ఏదైనా అర్థం కాకపోతే ఇమీడియట్గా అడగడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. ఓకే. సో మీరు తెలుగులో మాట్లాడినా ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడినా నో వరీస్. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ మనం వచ్చింది సాధ్యమైనంత వరకు మ్యాక్సిమం నేర్చుకోవడానికి మనం ట్రై చేయాలి. ఓకే. సో అది మీరు తెలుగులో అడిగారా ఇంగ్లీష్లో అడిగారా అన్నది అసలు ఆలోచించదు. ఫస్ట్ మీరు భయపడకుండా అడగడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. అర్థమైందా? Fine. So this is my low level document. It is representing some resources. Okay. So some experience API, some system API we are telling about. And why we need to create this experience API, system API? What is the purpose of dealing with this way? You guys are able to understand? అసలు మనం ఇలా క్రియేట్ చేయాల్సిన నెసెసిటీ ఏంటండి? అన్ని ఒక దాంట్లోనే పెట్టచ్చు కదా, ఒకటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ కింద క్రియేట్ చేయొచ్చు కదా. ఎందుకు సెపరేట్ గా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ API, సిస్టమ్ API కింద క్రియేట్ చేయాలి? వై వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ దిస్?
Maintenance maintenance,
Mhm.
protection, and
Reusability.
management.
The first thing I'm getting is reusability. Okay, so let us try to understand some reusability in this particular manner. So we have something like third and fourth, I-152 get account information. Okay, and I-153 get account information. The Salesforce is providing account information. Okay, and here mobility is my experience API, and here OEBS is my experience API. So in these two cases, I don't create two resources in my Salesforce. I can create only one resource. I can reuse that in these two APIs, which means that I'm able to reuse the same fundamental resource in two different APIs, which means that half of my development is already done when I'm starting with this particular second API. Why? Because I'm reusing the first API related code. ఓకే, అంటే నాకు ఒక రిక్వైర్మెంట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను ఎంత ఎఫిషియెంట్ గా నా కోడ్ ని రీయూజ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను అన్నదే దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఏపీఐ లెడ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్. ఓకే, సో మీరు ఏపీఐ లెడ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఎందుకు ఫాలో అవుతున్నారంటే యు ఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఎ రీయూజబుల్ అసెట్స్. ఓకే, అండ్ యువర్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో డిక్రీస్. ఓకే, అండ్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి ఏమవుతుందంటే మీరు అన్ని ఒకటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో పెట్టారు అనుకోండి, యూ కాంట్ యాక్చువల్లీ డీల్ విత్ దట్ ఇన్ మ్యాటర్ ఆఫ్ టైం. ఓకే, అంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో యు ఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ హండ్రెడ్స్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెంట్ ఏపీఎస్ బిట్వీన్ డిఫరెంట్ అప్లికేషన్స్. మీరు అన్ని తీసుకెళ్లి ఒకే ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో పెట్టారు అనుకోండి, అంటే విచ్ మీన్స్ దాట్ 100-200 డెవలపర్స్ నీడ్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ ద సేమ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. సో ఆ కోడ్ ని మేనేజ్ చేయడానికి ఎంత డిఫికల్టీ అండి. సో దట్స్ వై వాట్ వీఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు డూ, వీఆర్ మాడ్యులరైజింగ్ ద లేయర్స్, విచ్ మీన్స్ దాట్ ఓన్లీ కనెక్టివిటీ పార్ట్ నేను ఎక్కడ డీల్ చేస్తానండి. విచ్ లేయర్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డీల్ విత్ అవర్ కనెక్టివిటీ
system.
we are going to deal with in system layer. Okay, and what about this particular experience layer we are dealing with? Experience layer lo em chestam
with external systems,
user system.
end users.
End users external system experience API ki connect avutaru. Okay, which means that external systems or end systems is directly connecting to your experience API, but generally ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ సిస్టమ్ కి రిలేటెడ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ అంతా కూడా మనం ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేయర్స్ లో చేస్తాం. ఓకే, అండ్ ప్రాసెస్ లేయర్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఆల్ టుగెదర్. మనం ఇప్పుడు ఈ పర్టికులర్ సినారియోలో ప్రాసెస్ లేయర్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుందాం. వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ వన్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేయర్ అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ వన్ సిస్టమ్ లేయర్. ఓకే, అంటే ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ సిస్టమ్ లేయర్స్ కూడా ఓన్లీ there will be some APIs we are going to create it without any process layer, because a process layer is all about dealing your orchestration, right? Orchestration. Okay, so we are dealing orchestration in process layer. Okay, so here we don't calling multiple system APIs, so we are dealing with experience API to system layer. Okay, now we have experience layers and system layers. Okay, so main theme for your projects are API led connectivity. Okay, so without this particular API led connectivity, there will be ultimately, I can say no projects I will try to say it, because this is the main motto of your API led connectivity. If anyone saying, hey, I'm not using API led connectivity, I'm creating everything into one particular project, it is the moment you are telling it, you are directly giving the option to interviewer, saying that so he's going to stop your interview also. Why? Because API led architecture is the core of your mules of development. Okay, we are trying to modularize your layers into different mules of projects. Okay, now I have this particular architectural document. Okay, so this is low level architectural document. So to start my development, what else I require? నాకు స్టార్ట్ చేయడానికి ఈ ఒక డాక్యుమెంట్ సరిపోతుందండి, ఇంకేమైనా కావాలా?
Query
Request
parameters,
response,
request response.
యా, సో రిక్వెస్ట్ రెస్పాన్స్ కావాలి, క్వరీ పారామీటర్స్ ఏంటో కావాలి, ఇవన్నీ కావాలి కదా. సో వేర్ ఐ కెన్ సీ దీస్ డీటెయిల్స్, వేర్ ఐ కెన్ రిఫర్ ఇట్?
The design document.
Design document.
Data mapping sheet.
they provide some URL in this document.
Data mapping sheets.
Yeah, exactly. The data mapping sheet is my source of truth for my request response. Okay, so you need to tell that, hey, not only architectural documents, I need to have my data mapping sheet, create my request responses. I need to define my RAML. I need to define my data types. So for that, what I need? My data mapping sheet. Okay. So I need to create my traits, resource types. I need to deal with my data types. Okay. And I need to deal with my examples and everything. So I need to refer it using my what? Data mapping sheet and this particular architectural document. Okay. So what I need to provide? My data mapping sheet for this particular thing. Okay. So we are trying to create this particular API, right? So we need a data mapping sheet. Okay. So let me open that. Just a moment. Okay, so here, okay, so let me put it into architectural. Okay, so what I need to have, I need to create a system API and I need to create a experience API. Till now, I don't have any system API or experience API, right? So I need to start with my development where from design center, right? So before that, what I need to have, I need to create a Jira. I mean, so as a project manager, I need to create a Jira, right? I need to give it to you. Hey, work on this particular requirement. So where I need to start, I mean, as a project manager, okay, I need to create my Jira. And as a developer, what you need architectural document, you need a data mapping sheet, as well as what you need a Jira to start with. Okay, so let us try to create that Jira as well. Okay, so this is my project manager view. Okay, so I'm trying to create a new task. Okay, I'm clicking on this, and which project I'm going to click it. So this is my project. Okay, Signa 722 is my project, and I'm creating a task or epic. Okay, we are not dealing with epic, but we are creating a task. Okay, or else let us try to create some task. Okay, so what I'm trying to create is I'm trying to create something. Okay, so what is that particular thing? I need to create some resource in my system API. Okay, what is my system API name? SCA1001 OSVC-V1. So what is this particular name? So why this particular name? So what represents SCA? SCA means system API. Okay, so I have multiple system APIs, multiple experience APIs. I need to identify each individual API. Okay, by looking at that particular name, I need to identify, hey, this particular system API represents this particular thing. So that's why my naming convention is something like this. Okay, some projects, they will try to specify something like SAPI. Okay, or else at last they will try to specify system API. Okay, but this is the naming convention I'm following in this particular project. Okay, there will be some little bit, namings are different, but ideally they will try to follow the same naming convention. Okay, so this is my system API name. Okay, so how I'm going to create it? I'm going to create it something like SCA1001 hyphen OSVC hyphen V1. So, okay, so what is this? What we are trying to create inside my system API? I'm creating post organizations resource. So I'm going to create my task something like this. Okay, the moment I'm looking at this particular task, I can understand, hey, this is something like organization related resource and the method is post and it is there in the OSVC system API. The moment I'm looking at this particular, task itself, I'm able to understand, hey, this is what he's working on, right? So I'm going to see this way. Okay, and I need to mention what is my system layer. Okay, so what is my system API? SC1001 is my system API. And what is the resource for this one? Post organizations. Okay, I'm going to specify here. And who is going to use it? I mean, so who is going to use it? Experience API is going to use it, right? So I need to specify my experience API also. Okay, some people will try to specify it, or some people will directly attach my architectural document and data mapping sheet directly. Okay, they will not write anything sometimes. Okay, but let me try to specify this one. Okay, who is going to use it? My experience API. Okay, which resource it is trying to use it? EA2001. Okay, 2001. SFDC V1 is going to use it. Okay, so why this particular V1? We will also see it later point of time. Okay, so SFDC, this one is trying to use it. And what is the method? It is also a post organizations. Okay, post organizations. Okay, so let us say in later point of time, okay, some other project is actually using this particular resource, or within our project we are reusing this particular resource. Then what I will try to do, I'll try to add one more experience layer here, which means that the moment I'm reusing this particular component, I'm tracking under this particular Jira. So if I'm changing anything here, so it will impact both my experience APIs. So that's how I'm going to track it. Okay, so I need to assign it to some PD. I need to assign it to some fellows. Okay, so what I want you to do is create some Atlassian this thing. Okay, create an account here. So I'm going to assign this particular Jiras to back. Okay, so what you need to do it, you need to click on the sign up. Okay, a normal sign up page will be there, but don't use your Google accounts, guys. Okay, don't log in with your Google. Try to create a dedicated account in your Atlassian. Okay, so once you are giving that particular email ID, so what I can do is I can assign that particular task to you, so that you are familiar with how you are dealing with inside your projects. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay, so let us assign it to me only. Okay, so as of now there are no one, so we are trying to assign it to me as well. Okay, so what I am trying to do is I'm clicking on create. Okay, so I'm just creating a system API related task. Okay, so this is my system API related task. So it is having something like a Jira ID. Okay, the moment I'm clicking on this thing, so it will show me all the things. Okay, so what I will try to do, so right now I was assigned, so this particular task is assigned to me. So if you are creating a new account, so I'm going to try to assign it to you. Okay, so which means that the moment I'm assigning this thing, so I will try to change the status of this particular thing. Okay, so right now, what is the status? To do, but I already assigned it. So what I will try to do, I will make this
Assign.
particular thing is assigned. So the moment I make this thing, so what it is done, so it is moved to this particular group. Okay, so likewise, I have created multiple tasks. Okay, as a project manager, I will look at this particular dashboard only. So I get to know everything. Okay, where is this particular task? Who is dealing with this particular task? So did they completed this particular task? Likewise, I can check that way. Okay, so what else I need to do? So I have my system API created, task created for my system API. What else I need to do? I need to have one more task for my experience API also, right? To complete this particular process, I need to have one more thing that is nothing but my experience API. Okay, the same way we will try to create one more issue, but as of now, we will deal with this particular thing. Okay, so I created my Jira task. Okay, so in this particular task, as a project manager, I can attach my document also. Okay, what document I need to attach it? So I need to attach this particular design. Okay, this particular design document I need to attach it. So let us try to take a screenshot of it and let us try to attach it. Okay, so I took some screenshot. I'm attaching the document. Okay, so let me open this screenshots and this one. Okay, so I attach my low level design also. So what else I need? So I need to have my data mapping sheet. Okay, so let us try to attach the data mapping sheet also. So where is this? No, data mapping sheet already downloaded. So let me attach my data mapping sheet. Okay, sometimes they will not attach it, guys. Okay, so where they will try to, where you need to look at it, your SharePoint location, you need to look at it. Okay, so we will try to see the SharePoint location also. So where I'm going, so this is the location. Okay, so let me mark it. Okay, real-time July 2022 SharePoint location. Okay, so this is my location. So here what we have is our document repo. Okay, which means that inside this particular document repo, what I will have is our jar related folders. Okay, so what is my jar? SCA1001 is my API. Okay, what is this particular API? OSPC-V1, right? Let me open this. Yeah, SCA1001 OSPC-V1. So this is my jar name. So we will have something like this. And inside this particular directory, what I will have multiple folders. One is architectural documents. Architectural document. Okay, I will have it. So inside this particular architectural document, what I need to have this particular document. Okay, so let us try to download this and let us try to put it here. Just a moment, guys. The architectural document, save to drive. Let me download this one. See, this is the fundamental process we will follow in our projects, guys. Okay, so I'll not share any documents over email. I'll try to put it in some SharePoint location, or I will try to upload it to some jars and I will assign that thing. Okay, so some fellows will try to understand this way, say, hey, someone will tell me over email or something. So in most of the projects where we have this particular, proper standards, they will try to assign some Jira tasks and they will try to upload the documents in the SharePoint location. Okay, so let me upload a document here. Just a moment. Okay, one question. I have something like V1, right? So for this architectural document, I will say V1. So what is this particular V1 relates about? What do you know about this thing?
Version.
Version. So why I need to maintain version?
Will update now.
Okay, see, in your projects, okay, so this is my first version. Okay, so if I need to add a few more APIs in this particular thing, so what I will try to do, I will try to update this particular version. So every version, what I will try to do, I will try to maintain it separate. Okay, so this is my V1 version. So in your architectural documents, so there will be multiple versions. You need to always look at your latest version. Okay, so this is the version that I'm trying to upload it, because this is the base version I'm trying to upload. Okay, and apart from architectural document, what I need to give it, I need to give it my mapping sheets, right? For everything. So I need to give my mapping sheet also. I need to have it something like a separate folder for my mapping sheet also. I need to upload my document over here also. Okay, just a moment. File upload. This is my organization information mapping sheet. Okay, so it is also uploaded. So what else I will have? What are the other documents you guys will have? I think we already discussed about this. Some inputs I have given. ఇంకేం డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయండి ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఏపీఐ గురించి? Functional design documents. Okay, so I will have something like functional design documents. Okay, what else? ఇంకేముంటాయి?
Technical
టెక్నికల్ డిజైన్ డాక్యుమెంట్ అండి. ఇది ఎవరు క్రియేట్ చేస్తారండి? సో హూ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు క్రియేట్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ టెక్నికల్ డిజైన్ డాక్యుment?
architect.
Developers or leads.
As a
Business
developer,
analyst.
no, not a business analyst. Business analyst is going to create functional design document. Okay. A technical design document is nothing but a low level technical design document. As a developer, I need to create it. Okay. So I will have architectural document, which is created by my architect, functional design document, either my architect or my business stakeholders are going to create it. The mapping sheet, okay, those fellows are only created, but technical design document I need to create. Okay, apart from all these four, there is one more document, that is what we call it as API specification document. Okay, API specification document. Okay, so we already we will try to see one by one, but at least you need to understand, hey, I will have all these things in API specification document. I will only talk about this particular jar. What are the endpoints this particular system API will have? Okay, what is the request responses? What are the security that I provided for my jar or project? So everything I'm talking about inside my API specification document. Okay, so we'll try to create these documents later point of time after creating our API. Once I'm creating my API, once I deployed into development, everything is working fine, then only I can go with this particular API specification document and technical design document. Okay, so but before that, what we will get, architectural document, functional design documents, mapping sheets, we will get it because they are going to create it before our implementation. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just giving you let us say a 10 minutes break. Okay, we'll again regroup at 3:20. Okay, will it be fine?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thanks guys. I'm just stopping the screen share.
Oh, one more
Yeah.
thing. So, sir, the details, video details for today's session, is it available for us?
I'm not pretty sure. Maybe Kishore is going to update it back to you. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Fine. So I'm just pausing the session. Hello. Yeah. I'm back, guys. Let me. Yeah. You guys have any questions?
Yeah, Amar, where we
Mhm.
can create that a Jira account in Atlassian, you told, right? So
Yeah,
how we can
Atlassian.
do this?
Just create your Atlassian account using your you can use your Gmail, but don't log in with direct Google SSO. Okay, so don't use direct Google account. You can use your Gmail to register it. Okay, so once you create your Atlassian account, you can give me that Gmail so I can attach to this particular project.
Okay, Amar.
Or else we'll try to create some just a moment, let me share some Google documents so that you can update your things over there. Just a moment. Let me share my screen. So I'm pinging out the chat so you can access this particular link and you can actually update your Atlassian accounts. Okay, so I can give the access whoever share their email ID over here. All right. Any other questions that you guys have? Whatever we discussed till now. No.
No.
All right. Okay, fine. So we have this particular, Jira created, and we have uploaded the documents like the architectural document and the data mapping sheet. Okay. Now I need to proceed with my where. So generally, so as part of my API development, where I need to start it.
Is it
So I
okay
need
for you to zoom your screen?
Okay, you guys are not able to see it properly, or it is very tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, just a moment. Okay. Just a moment. Okay, I'll set this thing, maybe whoever is asking. So I need to set it in my control panel and video control panel. So somehow it is not working.
Sure.
Just a moment, one more time.
Everything else looks fine. Just the Jira tool is
A bit weird. Okay,
yeah.
so it is very tiny, something like that.
Yes, yes. Whenever
Just a
you
moment.
upload something, we don't. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
fine?
yes, yes. Thank
All
you.
right. Now, see, whenever you are starting with your APIs, okay, so when I'm looking at my MuleSoft API development, so what I see is it is a design first approach. We already discussed about this thing, design first approach, why we call it as design first approach and what is the advantage. Basically, it is giving some insight whoever is relying on my API. Okay, if I'm developing a system API, so my experience API person who is developing experience API, they can rely on my design, right? So what kind of design they are relying? So I'm going to design this thing inside my design center, right? So I need to create my design inside my AnyPoint platform. That's where I need to start with. Okay, so I can refer these things. What I can refer my architecture document and data mapping sheet. So I can start with my design center asset. So that is where I start with my development. Okay, so let us try to open my AnyPoint platform. Okay, I believe everyone knows this particular AnyPoint platform. Okay, there is no exception for this. So this will have something like a 30 days trial period, but in your real time, so it will be a license. So there is no restrictions out of it. Okay. So there will be a restrictions what features you can use it, but not on the timelines of your projects or something. Okay. So now let us sign up for one particular dedicated account for this particular class. Okay. So let me open this. Let me copy this. Sign up. I'm clicking on sign up.
Amar, after 30 days,
Mhm.
you'll get expired, right? So after that, again, we
Mhm.
need to create a new account.
Yeah. So in your real-time projects, you don't worry about it because you will not use this particular thing. Okay. What you need to do is you will try to log in with your dedicated client account. Okay. So in that particular thing, there is no restriction, something like, it will expire after 30 days or something like that. Okay. So you're not using this particular thing. So there will be a dedicated client account that you are going to log in. Okay. So even that particular login process, you will not do it, but who is going to do it? Your platform team is going to create some account for your ID and they are going to give that particular access related details. Okay. The moment you are going to projects, you need to ask the platform team, hey, I'm a new MuleSoft developer. Can you create a Anypoint platform account? So for I need to develop something and deploy it back to my Anypoint platform. So you need to ask your platform team guys. Okay. So this particular thing we are going to create it, but inside your projects, so your platform team, okay, who is going to manage your MuleSoft deployments or your MuleSoft platform, that particular team is going to create your, this particular sign up process. Okay. So let us try to give it here, online training at gmail.com. You can create with the same Gmail account, okay, multiple times, and you can actually give a different login. That's it. Okay. So it's a regular sign up process. Let me give this, click on accept and copy. Okay. So it is created. Okay. So where we are going to, design our this thing, Trammel.
Design center.
Design center.
Obviously, design center is my first component. I'm going to interact with it. Okay. But let me tell you one thing. So this particular design center, Exchange, Anypoint Studio, your access management, everything is interrelated. Okay. So the moment I'm starting my design center in my Remal into design center, what I will try to do, I'll try to publish it back to Exchange. Okay. From this particular Exchange, what I will try to do, I'll create a API manager. From this particular API manager, I will try to get some auto discovery. I will bind it to my Anypoint Studio inside that. So whatever I developed in my Anypoint Studio, I will try to deploy into my runtime manager. Whatever runtime manager we are trying to deploy it, we are trying to get some credentials from access management. Okay. From your runtime manager, whatever the logs that you are, publishing it, I will see it in my monitoring. So every component in this particular Anypoint platform is interrelated. Okay. Once one particular thing you are dealing with, the other thing you are going to modify. Okay. So it is like, interconnected. So you need to understand this particular whole life cycle of it, irrespective of your development life cycle. Okay. So your development life cycle relies on this particular Anypoint platform, and you are interacting with each individual component at different stages. Okay. అంటే మన డెవలప్మెంట్ ఏదైతే చేస్తున్నామో ఈ మొత్తం కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఇక్కడ ఉన్న చాలా వరకు కాంపోనెంట్స్ మనం డీల్ చేస్తుంటాం. ఓకే. And this is a trial version kada. So this particular trial version will have some other add-ons when you're going to your real-time projects. మీరు ఒక రియల్ టైమ్ క్లయింట్ అప్లికేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ ఒక licensed version తీసుకుంటే this particular Anypoint platform, they will have few more components inside this particular. Okay, we'll try to talk about those things later point of time, but at least this particular trial version, whatever we see it, we see the same things in my client applications or licensed version also, but with some add-ons. Okay, so those add-ons we will try to discuss it later. But I'm going with my design center first. Okay, I'm going to design my Ramel here. Okay, so you guys are comfortable with Ramel, right? So at least I believe I could not teach much about Ramel, but I'll try to tell you which components we are trying to use it and which way we need to use it. Okay, your development fundamentals are different and your real-time projects are different. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create a new project, new asset. I need to create it in my design center. What is my asset name? What I'm trying to create it here?
API specification.
New API specification, I need to create it. That's okay. So let me click on new API specification. What is my project name?
The story number and name.
What is my project name, guys?
In the story, we have.
Okay, look at this thing and
Signa.
look at this
Signa.
particular thing and tell me what is my project.
SA1001 OSPV1.
Yeah, so this is the project name, guys. Okay, whatever the jar name that we have here, so that is the same thing that we are going to create it here. Okay, so it should be small SA1001 OSP say -V1. So this is my project name. Okay, and what about this particular V1? Okay, ideally they will not specify something like this. So they will specify SA1001-OSVC. Okay, and why this particular V1 is not specified? Because
in
the
the
same
RAM.
thing we will write different versions. Okay, so this is how I'm creating project name. Okay, and some projects will try to append V1 also. And if it is a V2, again, they will try to create a new thing altogether. But at least for this particular case, what we are trying to do, we're creating SCA1001 and OSVC. Okay, this is my project name. Okay, and I'm designing through RAML 1.0. Okay, so even this particular thing they introduced recently. Okay, so just a moment, clicking on create app. Okay, so this is my base structure. Okay, so the moment you are clicking on it, you are able to see this particular thing. Okay, and one thing is, whenever you're changing this thing, so you will have this particular exchange.json. This thing we can't change it, guys. Okay, so please make sure that whatever the naming that you are giving it, it will be attached to this. Once you publish it, you can't change your name. Even if you can change your this particular design center, this particular name, that will not impact your exchange related information. So before publishing itself, you need to make sure that everything is updated properly. Okay, so this is the real-time issue that we are facing most of the times. Okay, so this is my main file. Okay, so here,
What is the
what are the
sorry to interrupt. What is the use of exchange.json?
exchange.json is something like metadata information. Okay, so this particular thing will tightly configured with your exchange. Okay, so if I'm trying to publish it here from here, okay, there will be a URL going to be created in your exchange. So that particular URL, it is taking from this particular metadata. So exchange.json is something like your metadata. Okay, so this particular metadata is telling about what is the RAML, what is the configuration that you have inside your RAML. Okay, so what is the root file, what is the name of this particular thing. Okay, and so all these things that it is maintaining inside this particular exchange.json. That's why we can't change it. So this particular thing is extracting some information from your design center. Okay, so this is somewhat important when you are actually publishing it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll try to see what is the relationship between this particular exchange and your exchange asset. Okay, so that's why they are saying that exchange.json. So it is directly relational to your exchange asset. Okay, let me enrich this particular thing. Okay, so you guys need to tell me what are the other things I need to write it here. So then I will try to tell you in project level what are the things that we take care of. Okay, so I'm trying to write it something RAML 1.0. So right now there is something like 0.8 and 1.0. So we are having something like RAML 1.0 we are dealing with. Okay, fine. So title. So what is this thing? OSVC system API. What is this? OSVC system API to manage what? resources in Oracle Service Cloud, which means that I'm specifying, I'm telling this story, saying that, hey, this particular thing is nothing but a system API, and this particular thing is managing the resources in my service cloud. I'm trying to put my title. What else here? What are the other things that we are going to define it here?
Protocol and version.
Protocol. Okay, protocols. I'm selecting it. What are the protocols that we are going to deal with in
HTTP
my
and HTTPS.
HTTP and HTTPS? Okay, so let me try to ask you something. Why not FTP? Why not JMS and other things? Only why these two? You need to understand. So this is the basic.
It is file
Why not?
transfer, FCTP.
Yeah, we're not transferring.
FTP is used only when the records are present in our systems, not in cloud.
Not like that. You can use the SFTP also. FTP also, it is not located in your system. It will be a remote system also. It might be. Okay. So it is not strict to your system. But what is this particular RAML, guys? What is meant by RAML? RAMEL. Or this particular thing, RAML.
RESTful
API modeling language.
RESTful API modeling language.
RESTful API modeling language. So I'm saying RESTful API, which means that I'm dealing with HTTP, HTTPS only. When I'm saying that RESTful, okay. So if it is a RESTful, I'm not talking about JMS or any other thing. So I'm talking about a HTTP related protocols. Okay, so that's why only HTTP, HTTPS is there. So you're telling the story about RESTful APIs. The RESTful APIs related protocols are only these two, right? So that's why only these two things are there. Clear? Okay, so
Yes.
I'm going to define HTTPS, and what else I can define? HTTP also. Okay, so I can define my RAML title protocols, and what else I can define?
Description.
Description. Okay. Okay, version. Okay, so version will have some other extension. Okay, so let us try to write some description. Okay, so what is this? OSVC system API. Okay, API managing what we are trying to do. Organizations, right? So this is my basic thing. Okay, so I'm trying to write something related to my organization. This particular description, I am going to enrich it more of the time. So if I'm trying to add something like context, something like cases, some other thing, so I will try to enrich this particular description. As of now, we are trying to deal with my organization. Okay, what else I will have? Resources, directly we define some resources, but the basic structure in your real-time applications, there will be some other things also. Okay,
MIM
so
type.
we are trying to follow
Media
MIM
type.
types. Okay, media type. Sorry, something is breaking. Someone is talking something. Media type. Okay, which means that this particular media type, what I need to do is, see, let's say in this particular project, I'm dealing with only application JSON. So I will only specify application JSON, nothing else. Okay. So if I have two resources, one is organizations and one is incidents, this particular incidents related resource is tackling about application XML. So I'm going to specify that thing as well, saying that application XML. Okay. So I need to specify what are the things I'm dealing inside this particular thing. So it is at high level, global level, what are the media types I am trying to deal with it, I need to mention. Okay. But as of now, for organization perspective, we are dealing with our application JSON. Okay. I'll tell you one simple thing. Whenever we are interacting with experience APIs to system APIs or process APIs to system APIs, we always try to send it application JSON. Only this particular media type, we will try to use it. Why?
Lightweight.
Most of the cases, lightweight. Okay. So why lightweight is, it is something like key value pairs, guys. Okay. the representation of your application JSON is very lightweight compared to any other type. Okay, so if you are talking about CSV, so it will have some file related metadata. So that is very hard for you to, transform it. You will have application XML. You will have both start key and key. So for representing one value, you are representing two keys. With the same key, you need to have start tag and end tag also, which means that to supply some 10 values, you are indirectly passing much metadata to it. So this media type is very practical in the sense, and it is very lightweight. So I always pass some information from experience API to system API through this particular application JSON. Okay. మీ నిజమైన ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మనం ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏపీ నుంచి సిస్టమ్ ఏపీకి ఓన్లీ అప్లికేషన్ చేసి పాస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైం. ఓకే, ఇన్ కేస్ మీ పర్టికులర్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ కనుక పెర్ఫార్మెన్స్ రిలేటెడ్ కానీ లేకపోతే అన్ని ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ గురించి ఆలోచించినప్పుడు మోస్ట్లీ దే విల్ యూజ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ అప్లికేషన్ చేసి, ఎందుకంటే ఇది చాలా లైట్ వెయిట్. ఓకే, మీరు ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏపీ నుంచి సిస్టమ్ ఏపీకి పాస్ చేసేటప్పుడు దే విల్ ట్రై టు యూజ్ ఏ లైట్ వెయిట్ డేటా టైప్స్. ఓకే, most of the cases I'm saying. Okay, sometimes they will try to pass different types, Okta, data, okay, XML. Sometimes they have some exceptions, but 99% they will stick to this particular pattern. Okay, at global level we are defining media types. What else I can define?
If in case
What
మనం
are the other
చేంజ్
things?
చేయాలి అంటే కనుక వాళ్ళు మెన్షన్ చేస్తారు కదా.
వాళ్ళు స్పెసిఫిక్ గా ఏపీఐ అప్లికేషన్ XML పాస్ చేయాలంటే ఎక్కడ మెన్షన్ చేస్తారంటే మీ డాక్యుమెంట్ లో మెన్షన్ చేస్తారండి. ఓకే, సో హియర్ దే ఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు స్పెసిఫై నాట్ JSON, సో దే విల్ ట్రై టు స్పెసిఫై అప్లికేషన్ XML or something. ఓకే, ఈ పర్టికులర్ ప్లేస్ లో దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మెన్షన్. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ దాట్ పర్టికులర్ కేస్ ఐ నీడ్ టు యాడ్ అప్లికేషన్ XML ఆల్సో. అంటే నాకు ఈ పర్టికులర్ జార్ లో రెండు రిసోర్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. లెటర్ సే ఒకటి ఆర్గనైజేషన్, ఇంకొకటి ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ అనుకోండి. ఆర్గనైజేషన్ అప్లికేషన్ JSON ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది, ఇన్సిడెంట్స్ అప్లికేషన్ XML ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. అంటే వాట్ ఐ విల్ ట్రై టు మెన్షన్ బోత్ మీడియా టైప్స్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు మెన్షన్ ఇట్ హియర్. ఓకే, బట్ మీ ఇండివిజువల్ API లెవెల్స్ లో దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మెన్షన్ వాట్ డేటా టైప్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్. ఓకే, so right now I am expecting media type. Okay, so my application JSON is my media type. Okay, what else I need to specify it here? What are the other things they are going to specify here?
Traits globally we can declare.
Traits resource type other than this one.
Security
schemas.
Security schemas. Okay, fine. We'll try to see it. So that is one level of advance. But what else? No?
Base URIs.
Base URI and version number. These are the one good things that we need to mention it. Okay, my version number. Which version we are trying to use it? V1. Okay, so this is my V1 version.
Like
when I'm going to change it to
version will provide, or like it's by ourselves we are taking like V1 or V2.
So as a developer, I start with V1. Okay, let us say I'm
So in
dealing
the
with
document they will not provide. In the document
they will not provide.
Okay, sir.
I mean, so ideally they will not provide. Okay, but as a developer, I need to understand when we need to update this particular version. Okay, so I need to interact with my architect and I need to interact with my team lead. But at least basic sense I need to understand here when we are going to change my version numbers. Okay, so I have my basic version is V1. When I'm going to change it to V2, in which case we need to change it to V2. ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ నాకు V1 ఉందండి, ఎప్పుడు నేను V2 కింద చేంజ్ చేస్తాను.
అప్డేట్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే చేస్తాను.
Then update.
Any update?
Which update?
If any update in the API.
ఫర్
Maybe-
సపోజ్ రిసోర్స్ ఏమన్నా చేంజ్ చేయాలనుకోండి, రిసోర్స్ చేంజ్ చేసి మీరు అప్డేట్ చేస్తారు.
Maybe
so-
reusability.
No. Okay, so let us try to change it to V2. When I'm going to change it to V2 is if I'm going with my 4.3 version to 4.4 runtime. Okay, which means that I am changing my mule runtime version to some other higher version. I can change it to V2. Okay. Or second case, if my entire resource structure is changed, okay, I can update it to something like V1 is there. Okay. I can add V1.1 or something like that. Okay. Some projects will deal with this thing. Okay. Major version and minor version also. Okay. So let us try to open some Oracle documentation. Okay, so let me open this. What is this? 18A,
Version
18B, 19B. See, this is something like this CBD is something like a minor change. If they are going with 19, they are introducing new changes. So your existing APIs will not accept your existing data types. It will expect some other thing. Okay. So this is how we are going to change our version also. So first of all, I'll try to mention V1. Okay. If I'm going to add one more thing or one more resource or something, they might change it to V1 1.1. Okay. Or if I'm changing my mule runtime entirely, I will change it to V2, version V2. Okay. If I'm right now, we are developing into 4.4. Okay. So tomorrow a 4.5 is there. Okay. And they are asking, hey, can you update this particular mule update to 4.5? So we will not directly change it to POM version saying that, hey, 4.5. No, that is not the way. So we will try to update it to V2 also. Okay. Or we will try to create one more design center with the V2 version. So both my V1 and V2 will be there. So whatever the experience APIs that we are using V1, slowly we will migrate it to V2. Okay. This is how we are going to change it. Okay. But at least you need to understand in your project, at what time we are changing this particular version. Okay. Why this particular version is important? Because whatever the URL that you are accessing your system API will also change. Okay. We will try to see that one in a moment of time. Okay. So I'm mentioning version V1. What else I need to mention? Base URL. Okay. So here, what I'm trying to write it is base URL is something like API slash. Okay. What is this system API, right? I'm going to try to write it something like this. Okay. Now tell me, if I'm changing V1 to V2, what else I'm going to change it? Base URI also, I'm going to change it to V2. Okay. Where this particular base URI, we are going to use it when we are actually developing it, we get to know. Okay. But at least at this moment of time, try to understand that this particular version, if I'm changing it, my endpoint accessing this particular system API is also going to change it. Okay, that you need to understand. Okay, so let us try to put it in a proper structure. I have my title, I have my description, and I have my version. Okay, so inside my RAML, version is there. And after that, my base URL is there, title is there, description is there. What is the protocols that we are adhering? What is the media types we are dealing with? We have it. Okay. Security protocols and other things we will try to see at later point of time. I mean, so it is not like, one day we are trying to see everything, guys. Okay. So eventually we are trying to implement this thing. Okay. The first API, whatever we are implementing, we'll try to make it very slow, something like piece by piece, we are trying to understand it. And once you are comfortable with it, we are trying to add it few more other things. Okay. So however, we are adding it in our real-time APIs, we are trying to add it one by one. Okay. So there is something like documentation, this one. Okay. This one also we are trying to add it. So there, what we are going to mention it, everything we will try to say it one by one. Okay. So few concepts we will try to understand in first API. Okay. In second API, we will try to enrich some more things. Okay. In third API, we will try to enrich some other thing. So at least for third API level, you will understand most of the things. Okay. 80% of your project related APIs, how we are going to develop it, you can understand it and you can represent the same way in your interviews. Okay. So that will be helpful even in your projects also. Okay. So tell me now, I'm dealing with my organization, right? So what I need to specify it here?
Resource path.
Slash
resource.
organization.
Yeah, slash organizations, right?
Yeah, whatever is available in architect document.
Architectural document is my source of truth. What it is having? Organizations is my organizations. Okay, fine, good.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Yeah.
So even this particular resource, it looks like, hey, organization, it doesn't have anything. But even here, they will follow some standard. Okay. They will not specify only organization. Okay. They will specify always like plural. And your resource, okay, starts with lowercase. Okay. Not a camel case. Okay. So this is somewhat standard that I'm going to maintain as an architect. I'm going to maintain this. Okay. So organization we are dealing with. Okay. So inside this, what is the other things that we need to define it?
Method. Post.
Method. Okay. So what is the method that we need to specify? Post. Okay. Inside post, what else I need to specify?
Body, request and response, status code.
No,
request response. Okay.
Description first. Description, whatever.
Okay, description first. Okay, description. What it is dealing with? Creating organizations and OSVC system. Okay, a plain description. Okay, all right. What else? So as a post, okay, so we are dealing with post. What it will have?
It will create.
It will create a resource in the external system. That's okay. But how we are passing the information to this particular post method in general sense?
Either URL
Where we are?
parameter or query.
No.
Body.
So if I'm creating something, so I'm going to pass it through body. Okay. So if my post method will have body, if it is having something like additional information, where I'm going to pass it? The header section we are going to pass it. Okay. In general, this is my standard. Okay. A post method will always have a body where we are trying to pass some application JSON or application XML, whatever the information that we are passing it, we are going to define it inside my body. So this is my source of truth. Okay. Whatever we are passing inside my body, I need to capture it inside my system API, and I'm going to create it to my external system. అంటే ఒక పోస్ట్ మెథడ్ అన్నది ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తామండి? మనం ఒక కొత్త రిసోర్స్, ఒక కొత్త దాన్ని క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తాం పోస్ట్ మెథడ్. ఓకే. సో దానికి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనం ఎలా పాస్ చేస్తాం? బాడీ అనే కంటైనర్ లో మనం డీటెయిల్స్ ని పాస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే. సో క్లయింట్ ఐడి, క్లయింట్ సీక్రెట్లు, లేకపోతే ఆథెంటికేషన్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం ఎక్కడ పాస్ చేస్తాం? హెడర్ సెక్షన్స్ లో పాస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే. సో మై సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ట్రూత్ ఫర్ మై పోస్ట్ మెథడ్ ఈస్ మై బాడీ సెక్షన్. ఓకే. నా ఇక్కడ ఏం రాయొచ్చు? బాడీ అనేది రాస్తున్నాను. ది బాడీలో నేనేం డిఫైన్ చేయాలండి? ఏ టైప్ పాస్ చేస్తున్నాను అన్నది పాస్ చేయాలి. నేను ఏ టైప్ పాస్ చేస్తాను? అప్లికేషన్ JSON ని పాస్ చేస్తున్నానండి. దట్ ఈస్ మై థింగ్. ఓకే. ఇక్కడ అప్లికేషన్ JSON స్పెసిఫై చేశాను, బట్ ఇందులో ఇంకా ఏమేమి యాడ్ చేస్తాం? అప్లికేషన్ JSON అని ఓకే, బట్ నేను చెప్పాలి కదా ఎవరికి? data types and what else? Generally కొంచెం డెవలప్ చేద్దాం. సో example. Okay, I need to specify my example. Okay, so I need to have my example, but where I'm going to get this particular example? Is some document is giving me something?
Mapping sheet.
Data mapping sheet is giving me this particular information. Let me open my data mapping sheet and let me see what is there. Okay, so let me open my document repo, system API. What is my mapping sheet? Here my mapping sheet. Let me open this. So నేను టార్గెట్ సిస్టమ్ OSVC సిస్టమ్ పంపించాలంటే నాకు డేటా ఎలా రావాలండి? ఇలా రావాలి. ఓకే, which means that whatever I'm posting it to my OSVC system, I need to have this particular data like this. So this kind of transformation, where we are going to capture it? So my SFDC system is trying to send it like this. This is my request information, my SFDC system is sending it. Okay. But what my OSBC system is expecting is something like this. Okay. My field names are changed. My data types are changed. But this particular transformation, where we are going to do it in Experience API, we are going to do it. Okay. But in my system API, this is the fields that I'm going to send it from my Experience API. So these are the fields I need to have it inside my system API. Okay. So let us try to create a sample request from this particular information. Okay. You can ask your external system also. You can ask your OSBC system, hey, give me some sample example, you can get it. Okay. But from this, I'm going to create my sample. Okay. I believe I already have it. Okay. So let's not waste too much of time here. Okay. So let me open side by side. Name. Okay. Name, we are getting it. Okay. So we are getting something. Okay. And what else we are getting? SFDC ID, account status, we are getting it. Okay. But what is this? Status. Okay. Status, we are getting it. And what else? Time zone, we are getting it. Address 1, address 2, address 3, city, state, postal code, country, active contracts, everything we are getting it. So this is my sample data. Okay. So this is my example for my RAML. This is my example, guys. I can have it something like this. But is it look standard?
No, we have
Asali
to
ఇది ఒక
create.
స్టాండర్డ్ వేలో ఉందండి లేదు.
No.
Okay. So what I need to have is I need to
Data type.
create an externalization file and I need to refer it here. Okay. That is my standard. Okay. So where I'm going to create it? I need to
Sorry
create
to
this particular thing in
interrupt.
this.
Sorry to interrupt. Before creating this example, I think we need to
Mhm.
specify the data type for each and every field, right?
No. So generally how we are going to deal with it? First, we will define our example. From that, we are going to define a data type. Okay. So even you can create that way as well. Okay. But generally, we will compare this particular, example. So whatever the example, the external system is giving it. So I will try to compare that particular example with data mapping sheet. And then I will try to create a data type from that particular example, or I can refer my data mapping sheet as well. Okay. So data mapping sheet will try to tell me what is the payloads, what is the length I need to have it, what is the data type it needs to expect it, whether it is required or not. Everything data type related information, my data mapping sheet is going to give it. Okay. So you can refer your data type. I mean, so one and the other way is correct, but in general, we will go with our example. Okay. So it's your comfort zone, whether you go with data type and then example or example to data type. But example to data type is one of the things that we will try to go because it will give you some insight. So we will try to tell you about in a moment of time. Okay. So this is my example and I need to specify it somewhere, where in I need folder. To create it. Okay. What folder?
Using
Examples.
Yeah.
Using
examples. Okay.
New
but
folder.
generally
New folder. Examples.
Okay. Examples. Okay. Examples. Okay. Let it be. Okay. So we'll try to modify it later point of time, but examples. Fine. Examples. Then
Create on the
what kind of
cluster.
example is this one? What kind of example is this thing? Is it a request or response?
It's a request.
Request.
It is a request. All right. So I need to have something like request. Okay. What kind of request is this one? What is this kind of request? What we are talking about? Organization request. Okay. So I need to create a new file. It is an other. What kind of file is this one? Something like post organizations. Why I'm maintaining my method post? Why not directly organizations? Because even I might get it a patch method. Okay. Even for patch also, I will get something like request body. In that I have some confusion, which is what. So I need to specify my method and my resource name. Okay. So post organizations.json is my example file. Okay. Here I need to specify this particular example. Okay. So let me copy it and let me paste it here. And one thing, guys, please maintain your indentation properly. Okay. See, it is not about you. It is the person who is going to join later point of time once you are leaving your organization. Okay. We are not concentrate or concerned about you at all. Okay. We are concerned about the newcomers. Okay. So make sure that you properly maintain these things. Okay. So this is my indentation example. Okay. Now I saving it. I need to refer that particular example. How I'm going to refer it?
Exclamation mark.
Exclamatory mark
keyword.
include.
Okay, cool.
Folder
Include
name, folder file.
You can copy the path of folder and paste it here.
example request post organization.json. Simple enough. Okay. But tell me, there is something like examples also, right? Examples also there. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we use different media types.
When we use different media types, or if we are using, your what? Let us try to say, if you are reusing your existing resource and you have a minute or child related response, only some part of it is coming as request, then we can use your examples. So if you are two cases, one is you have reusability with a smaller piece of data, then you can go with examples. Or if you are using multiple data types, you can go with multiple examples. Okay, we can use that one. We can see that particular example also later point of time. But at least for this thing, I can create my example also. What else I need to create? Body I specified it. Okay, everything. What else?
Response.
Responses. What kind of response I'm going to give it in this thing?
In
201. In mapping sheet will be. But 201
it is at 201. Okay, why 201?
For
Because
post
201
method.
is something like post. Creating a resource is nothing but a 201 status case. Okay. If it is a get method, so I will try to use a 200 status code. But here we are going to use a 201 status. Okay. So tell me this. What else I need to specify?
Application JSON, body
application JSON. Okay.
Example.
Okay, the same story. Again, I need to create some example back. Okay. So here in the example section, what I'm trying to create, one more folder. That is what we call it as responses. Okay. So here, what kind of response we are trying to give it back? It is nothing but post organizations. Okay. So this is also post organizations dot JSON. Okay. I'm trying to simply write it something. Okay. So message. Okay. And here we are trying to write it something like organization created. Okay. Something very simple stuff. Okay. So it is asking like this is okay. A simple basic stuff I am trying to create it. I'll try to enrich it later point of time. Okay, if required. So this is my example. And here I need to specify my response example also. How we are going to specify it?
Exclamatory mark include.
Okay, examples. Responses, post organization.json. Simple enough. Okay. Now, so this is my structure I created it. Okay. But I want to apply some client ID, client secret to this particular thing, which means that I need to create some client application and I want to access only this particular API through some client ID, client secret. So I want to pass this particular client ID, client secret. In which section we are going to pass it? Security. Okay. I mean, so
Right? Like, we
In
can
your RESTful API, what are the containers or what are the sections that you have? Let me open this particular post method. Okay, so this is a post method, let us say.
Root
The
section,
body
header
section, we are passing some information, right?
Authorization.
Okay, so authorization, what we are trying to pass it here.
headers. No, in headers we can pass, right? Client ID and client secret.
Headers.
Yeah, in header section, we are going to pass client ID, client secret. Okay, so even some systems, they can pass it in query parameters also, but most of the time, we will try to pass our client ID, client secret through our header section. Okay, now, if I want to create a client ID, client secret, where I'm going to pass it in the header section. Okay, so where I'm going to specify that particular headers, where?
post method kinda.
About resource name, above the resource.
Inside organization.
Inside organizations here.
So if we use globally, then we can declare it above the resource. If we want to mention for a specific method, then we can use that particular method. If we are using globally those client ID and client secret, then we can declare it above the resource name.
So you're saying here we need to specify it?
Yeah, traits we can define, right? Traits. In that we can define
Traits, okay. Traits is something like if we want to reuse it, we can define it. Okay. But so we are trying to pass it to this particular method. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, the moment I'm clicking on post, I'm getting headers here. Okay. So I'm specifying headers. And the moment you are specifying your header, you need to specify the key. Okay. What key we are trying to pass it? Client ID. Okay. So client underscore ID. This is the one that I'm going to pass. Okay. So what I need to specify it here? Whether it is required or not, I need to specify it. Okay. So client ID is required. So I am specifying true. Okay. And what else I need to specify? Client secret. Okay. Client underscore secret. Okay. Colon. Sorry. Yeah. And this is required. Okay. So where is required property? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is, I defined it. Okay. Both organization resource I created, post method I created, header section I prepared it, description, body, responses I created. So there is something else I need to have it also. Error responses. Okay. Whenever we are dealing with exception handling, we will try to see it. Okay. But as of now, this is the bare minimum structure I can think through. Okay. Now, we defined everything, but is it really constructive? Let us say if we are defining like this, let us say my system API will have something like 20 APIs, guys, 20 different resources. How big this particular RAML will be, right? So I need to create something like traits and resource types, right? So what is a trait and what is a resource type?
Traits is nothing but reusable components, so like headers, query parameters, HTTP error codes.
Within the same API, if we want to reuse the same.
Traits are nothing but we want to reuse. Resource types are nothing but if we are having we are having 3 to 4 resources. In that, if the request body is same, instead of calling it multiple times, we can use resource type and we can call it the structure, whatever the similar structure we request structure or response structure is there, we can call it directly by using resource type.
Okay, so the real definition or real scenario is in methods, if there are any reusable components or reusable structure, something like headers, okay, your query parameters or something like that, we'll try to create it right. When we are going for resource type is any reusable stuff or any common thing in the structural level or resource level, we will try to create a resource type. Okay. Inside a resource type, we can still call that traits. Okay. So this is the fundamental difference. See, they will try to confuse you. Okay. So can we create a resource in the trait or not? Something like that. Okay, so they are trying to mock up that particular thing. Even you can create the particular method inside your thread also. Okay, but the real scenario that we are going to use threads is whenever there is a reusable stuff or common stuff that we foresee inside our methods, we'll try to create it inside threads. And at resource level, anything that we have common, we will try to create a resource type. Okay, so for this particular organization, what I will try to do, I'll try to create a resource type. And for this particular headers, I can create a thread. Okay, so this is how I'm going to specify it. And try to help me out how to create a resource type, where we are going to create our resource type.
Can you please repeat in Telugu?
Okay, fine. ఒక పర్టికులర్ మెథడ్ లో గనక మనకి ఏమన్నా అంటే రీయూజబుల్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, అంటే కామన్ గా ఉండే కాంపోనెంట్స్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే వాటిని ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే ట్రైట్ కింద క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, ఒక రిసోర్స్ లెవెల్లో ఒక స్ట్రక్చర్ కనుక కామన్ గా అనిపిస్తుంటే మనం దానికి ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే రిసోర్స్ టైప్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, రిసోర్స్ టైప్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ఏ కామన్ స్టఫ్ దట్ వీఆర్ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్టింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ రిసోర్సెస్. ఓకే, మెథడ్ లెవెల్లో కామన్ గా ఉండే వాటి కోసం మనం ట్రైట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. మెథడ్ ట్రైట్. ఓకే, రిసోర్స్ లెవెల్ రిసోర్స్ టైప్. దట్స్ ఇట్, సింపుల్ డెఫినేషన్. ఓకే, సో దాంట్లో మిమ్మల్ని చాలా కన్ఫ్యూజ్ చేయడానికి చూస్తుంటారు, బట్ స్టిక్ టు ద బేసిక్స్. ఓకే, రిసోర్స్ టైప్, రిసోర్స్, యువర్ ట్రైట్, రిసోర్స్ లో ఉన్న మెథడ్. ఓకే, మెథడ్ ఈజ్ ట్రైట్, యువర్ రిసోర్స్ రిలేటెడ్ ఈజ్ రిసోర్స్ టైప్. దట్స్ ఇట్, ఫెయిర్ ఎనఫ్. ఓకే, now I want to create this particular entire structure into a resource type because this is the common structure for this particular organization. I want to have it in a resource type. Okay, I want to create an organization resource type. So in that particular resource type, I will have multiple methods. I will have post method, right? So if tomorrow I want to create a get method, I need to have it inside that particular resource type. Now tell me or enrich me how to create my resource type. Quickly guys, where I want to create my resource type, in which folder? Go on.
Folders.
Okay, so
New folder.
New folder,
Libraries. Okay.
libraries. What is this particular libraries? Why we are calling libraries? Because it is a resource, or it is something like a knowledge base where I can refer all the stuff. So generally, we go for libraries to extract some knowledge, right? So this particular libraries will have some knowledge related to your resources and traits methods. Okay, so I have my libraries folder. Inside libraries, what I will have is something they will call it as, some fellows will name it as resource types. Some people will have it something like patterns. Some people will call some other thing. Okay, so it differs from project to project. Whenever you are going to some project, try to see the existing system API and try to understand this particular naming conventions. Okay, how they are creating, in which folder they are creating, how they are extracting the resources. Okay, so right now I'm trying to specify something like patterns might be confuse you. Let us type it as resource types. Okay, I'm just giving you the most of the things in whatever the understanding way. Okay, so we will try to prepare it as resource types. Okay, some people will try to call it as patterns. Okay, resource types, I have it. What kind of resource type I need to create it? I want to create a organization kind of resource type. Okay, so what is the name I need to specify it here?
Resource type.
So this is a resource type, and tell me what is the name I need to specify?
Organization.
Organization. Why not post organization? Can you give me some answer? Why not post organization? We're talking about post organization only, right? Why
But
not
then,
Inside post, inside the method,
That is
whatever the
trait,
similar,
no?
we are
Post is
using it.
not resource, right? That's why.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to specify multiple methods about my organization in this resource type, guys. Okay, not only post. I can define get, post, head, everything I'm going to define it here only. I'm not going to create one more resource type. So this particular resource type file I'm talking about only specific to organization, and all the organization related methods I'm going to define it here. So this is how I'm going to restructure it. Okay. So here what we are talking about, a post method we are trying to talk about. So let me copy this particular thing and let me paste it here. Okay. So tomorrow, if I want to add a new method, okay, what is the new method? Get method. So I'm going to add it here. Okay. So some other day, if I'm talking about, I need to add something like patch method, I'm going to add it here. Okay. So I don't want to create a new resource type or new resource file for my get method or patch method. So I'm talking about every method related to the organization I'm putting into this particular resource type. Okay. మీరు ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు అంటే దానికి సంబంధించిన అన్ని మెథడ్స్ మీరు ఇందులోనే పెడతారు. ఓకే. సో ఎందుకు అంటే రిసోర్స్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ టేబుల్ గురించో లేకపోతే ఎంటిటీ గురించో మనం క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. దాన్ని ఎలా డీల్ చేయాలి, ఎన్ని మెథడ్స్ ద్వారా డీల్ చేస్తున్నామో అన్ని కూడా మనం ఇదే ఫైల్లో మెన్షన్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే. నౌ లెట్ మీ క్లియర్ ఇట్ అవుట్. ఓకే. సో వీఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ రిసోర్స్ టైప్. మనం రిసోర్స్ టైప్ ఏదో క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేసాం. బట్ ఏమొస్తుందండి ఇక్కడ, ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ రెస్పాన్సెస్ ఇక్కడ లేవని చెప్తుంది. అంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలి, మనం రెఫరెన్స్ ఇచ్చాం కానీ ఇక్కడ లేదని చెప్తుంది. సో హౌ టు రిజాల్వ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ థింగ్? ఇట్ ఈస్ సెయింగ్ దట్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఫైల్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ దేర్. Why it is saying something like this?
Because we
Inside
have
a
not
resource, we
added
can't
the
declare.
references in the resource type.
Yeah, so the parent level lo manam add cheyaledu. So we haven't done it parent level. So I need to go to my parent level, then only I can resolve this particular examples. Okay, I need to go back one by one step. Okay, so let me put it this way. So where it is going, until resource type it is going. Is it clear? So from this I'm moving 2 steps. So I'm going to my root level. From there, I'm telling go to examples, requests, and organizations. So this is how I need to specify it. Okay. Go to 2 steps back and then resolve this particular JSON file. So this is how I'm going to define my resource type. Now I define my resource type. Now tell me what is the other step that I need to include this particular resource type. Okay. సో ఇక్కడ ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మొత్తాన్ని నేను రిసోర్స్ టైప్ లో మూవ్ చేశానండి, బట్ దాన్ని నేను ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేసుకోలేదు. హౌ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు డిఫైన్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్? ఆర్ వి యూజింగ్ యూజర్స్ కీవర్డ్?
Types keyword.
Types. Okay, fine. So for using my resource type, what is the keyword that I need to use? Type. Okay, fine. Type. I'm not getting anything. Why?
We have to declare it globally.
Yeah, we have to declare it globally. So here I need to write it something. What? Resource types. Okay. What resource type we are talking about? Organization resource type. Okay. So I'm going to define my global type, organization resource type. And this is something like include what?
Explanation mark.
Okay. Include where we have under libraries, resource types, organization.rem. So this resource type, we are trying to use it here. Are we getting clear? So if you are defining this way, your RAML structure, your main RAML file is very clean and clear. Okay. So we have very less code in this particular thing. Okay. Now, organization resource type, I had defined it properly. I'm pretty much fine. I'm good. Okay. I need to define data types also. That thing we will try to see it. But I want to create a header from here. I want to use this particular header. At what? So can we create a trait for this particular header?
Yeah, we create.
Yeah,
Yes.
headers is the section that I'm going to use it in different methods. Okay, even in different resources, I want to pass client ID, client secret. So for this particular purpose, what I can do, I can create a trait. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to create a new resource, or sorry, a new type that is nothing but traits. So inside your libraries, I'm going to create new folder, what we call it as traits. Okay. Trites, I'm creating it. Inside trites, I'm going to create a new file. What is this particular file?
Trites.
In the specification, I need to specify trite. What kind of trite?
Organization.
Post.
Headers.
Client.
Client ID, client secret.
Client credentials. Okay. So something like a meaningful name we are trying to put it. You can mention like a client ID, client secret, but client credential is somewhat meaningful. But why I'm not adding an organization? Because this particular client credentials, I'm going to use it across multiple resources. That's why I'm going to create a trite. If I'm only using in this particular thing, why I need to create it? Something like this. Okay. So I'm going to create a trite, which I'm going to use it in across multiple resources. Okay. Multiple methods. That's why your method related type is your trite. Okay. I'm creating this. Okay. And I need to specify my related stuff. What is this? Headers. I need to specify it. Okay. I'm cutting it and I'm going it here. I'm specifying it here. Headers. Everything I pasted it here. I created a trite. Now I want to use that particular trite here. How to use it?
You can use the trites.
Keyword.
Is keyword. Okay. Where I need to specify is. In this particular post method,
we
one
declare
step back.
globally.
Here you need to use your is keyword. Okay. So in this particular thing, I need to specify my global trite. But globally, we declared anything? No, we haven't declared anything, right? So here I need to declare something. Okay. So I can declare my trites. And what is this particular trite? Nothing but client credentials is my type. Okay. So here I can specify something like include. Okay. Libraries. Libraries trites client credentials. Okay. So this particular thing is nothing but my trite. I need to use it inside my resource type. Here I need to specify it. Okay. So if you have multiple these things, multiple trites, you can define something like this guys also. Okay. Instead of going this route, you can define it with comma separate. Okay. So in interviews, I'll try to ask this because if you are trying to maintain like 20 different trites, okay, you need to, you will have a much bigger resource type. So I can use this particular kind of representation. Okay. So I defined my resource type, I defined my trite, and I define that particular, I'm calling that particular trite inside my resource type. Is keyword is used for calling your trite. Okay. Now, what else is pending for this particular YAML? What are the other things that we can have?
Error handling.
Error responses, that is a different story. What else?
Status
Someone is already
code.
Status codes. Something like error responses only. What else?
Security schema.
Security schemas. Okay. Security schemas, what we will try to add it. We already have this particular client credentials. I can have it something like a security schema. Okay. But data types,
Data
do you guys know
types,
what it
yeah.
is? Data type, right?
Yeah.
And how many of you guys know fragments?
Yeah.
Fragments? You guys know?
Yes.
These are also reusable components, like.
Yeah, fragments also reusable component, but at which scenario we are going to use the fragments?
When we want to use this another API.
If you want to use
Two
multiple
different across
projects.
APIs in
Different.
your organ.
Not across. Okay, so you can do that way. Okay, so if I want to create multiple experience APIs, multiple system APIs, okay, and in each and every system API, we are trying to use same kind of resource type or same kind of trite. Okay, we can specify these things into fragments. Okay, and that particular fragment we can add it using this particular thing, exchange dependencies. The moment I'm asking fragment, definitely I will try to ask about this particular thing, exchange dependencies. Okay, so we are going to create a fragment and we can add that particular thing inside this particular thing. Okay, so try to make a note of it. So fragments, we will try to add it in exchange dependencies inside your design center. Okay, so we'll try to see this thing maybe tomorrow. Okay, so in which scenario we are going for fragments, and we are going to add some fragment over here. Okay, and there is one more thing called data types. Okay, so before coming to the tomorrow session, at least get some idea on data type. Okay, so that you can comfortably do this part. Okay, once you complete this particular thing, there is a process that we are going to adopt it using your Bitbucket. Okay, why we are using Bitbucket?
A repository to
For
A source versioning control. Okay, whatever you are developing it, you need to pass it to your fellow developer, or you need to deploy it through CI/CD pipeline. So there should be some tool which is going to manage your source code, right? So we are trying to use Bitbucket to manage our code. Okay, so we are going to use the Bitbucket and how to create repositories, how to clone repositories. First time, whenever you're creating your new project, how we are going to deal with it, we are going to see it tomorrow. Okay, and we are going to enrich it step by step. So for the first APIs, there will be like 3 to 4 days we will try to take it, but eventually we will try to fasten this particular process. Once we are familiar with this thing, we don't require to talk about each and every piece. Okay, we are going to make extensions to this, and we will try to make use of our development team. Okay, any questions here? Okay, how many classes over before this? Only 2 classes. Okay, so today is the first class that we are talking about the project.
So the request that you have taken, that will be shared by architect, is it?
No, architect is not going to share it, but your external systems are going to share it, or else, okay, you can create your request by looking at this particular document. What is this document?
Okay.
Data mapping.
Data mapping sheet.
Yeah, so this is the request that you are going to get it from your experience API. Okay, because in system layers, we will not convert anything. We will not do any transformations. Okay, whatever experience API is giving or process API is giving, we will directly interact with the system API and we will try to push it back. Okay.
Okay.
There is some scenarios where we are trying to do some kind of transformation, a structural transformation. We'll try to talk about later, but at least at this moment of time, try to understand this way. Okay. Based upon your data mapping sheet, you are going to create your what is the request that you are getting it from your experience API. Okay. And then you can formulate what is the response that you are passing it. So in this particular section, so we just added some response message or something. Okay. But what we are actually getting from the external system, from OSVC, we are getting this particular kind of response. Okay. But what is the response my experience API is expecting? This particular message only it is expecting. Okay. So that's why we created a response with a message, only one single. Okay. Your source of truth is always your data mapping sheets and your architecture log. Okay. So even if you are going to some projects, try to ask this particular thing. Okay. Don't hesitate to ask any questions to your team leads also. Okay. So if they are not giving proper requirement, you will waste your time to implement that particular, undefined or, not structural requirements. You will keep on wasting your time. Okay. So at the end of the day, you need to suffer. Okay. Your project deadlines will be very near. So you will give justification. The first day itself, try to ask them, hey, where is my data mapping sheet? Where is my architectural document? Okay. What is my repository? So what is my Jira? So everything you need to ask. Okay. So without these things, don't start anything.
Okay, and trades law aims Charlie. So e-decisions and it will be with developers only, right? Like
Developer
whoever is
only.
developing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So it is your responsibility, or see, developer responsibility is how you are developing your application. But what is the design flow? Okay, what is the fields that we need to map it? So all these things will come from the higher level because that is the requirement that they need to formulate it. Okay, but how you are developing it, how you need to create your traits, resource types, these are the things that you need to take care of it. Okay, and no architect is going to take care of it, but they are going to review it. Okay, is that you are doing it properly or not? They are going to review it. Okay.
Okay,
Once
okay.
I'm done with my design center asset, I will try to publish it and I will get approval from my this guy, architect.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, these recordings will be available, Priyanka. Okay. So, and one more thing, guys. So if you have any questions or concession you need it from fees perspective and everything, Kishore is the contact person. Okay. Try to ask them, like, whatever the comfort zone that you have. Okay. He can discuss with you on that. Okay. So as per my understanding level, so these are the things that we are going to tell you. Okay. So in a proper standard way, how we are going to develop in your inside projects, we will try to take care. Okay. So I'm pretty much sure the moment you complete this particular course, okay, you will have a full-fledged development, knowledge. And only if you are practicing this, okay, I'm sticking to that. Okay. Not just listening to it. It might help you in some projects. Okay. But if you are creating this particular structures on your own, if you are practicing daily, you can easily get your interviews cracked and you can place into projects and you can comfortably working out there. Okay, I'm pretty much sure about this. Okay, fine, guys. So I'm winding up the session. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
May I know the
Sure.
timings daily? It will be from 2 to 4 or it might be extendable.
Yeah, so for this particular batch, we have only 2 to 4. Okay. From next month onwards, we are looking at the morning sessions. I mean, so at least at this moment of time, I don't have any status calls at this particular moment of time. So I'm trying to go teach you this. Okay. But later
Okay,
point of time, maybe.
You are moving the sessions to morning time. Right?
Yeah. So once this particular batch is completed, a new batch is going to start at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I mean, so it depends upon the whoever is attending it, but that will start on August somewhere. Okay, your morning session will start on August, and in that particular session, we are going to, I mean, from next batch onwards, we will try to cover both the basics as well as this particular project training combined.
Class duration 1 hour or 2 hours?
So it might go to 2.5 hours sometimes also. Okay. So today we started 2 o'clock and we are having something like 4:40. Okay. So and one more thing, guys, I'm not sticking to timelines, deadlines, or something like that. The moment I comfortable, understanding that, hey, this particular concept is able to understand by everyone, then only I can, comfortably complete that particular thing. Okay. It's not about timings or duration. Don't stick to that. Try to learn the stuff, basics, and stick to the concept. Okay. And try to learn something. Okay. Don't stick to like duration or something like that. Okay.
Total 30 days class.
Yeah. 30 days will be there. Okay. So if there are some extensions required by you, then it might go up a little bit.
Sir, is this separate class from Kishore sir or both us?
This
Sorry?
is separate, completely separate. This is complete project, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
All right. So anything that you require, so Kishore is going to help you out. Okay. You can ask the questions. Okay. I'm stopping the session. Okay. I'm keeping the.
Okay.